McDavid, McKinnon, Ingram, Blackwood, Makar, Bouchard. An interesting conversation to be having if you're our guy Rick, who you listen to on Oilers Nation Radio. Bag Milk's in this camp as well. The Norris Trophy odds have been shrinking and shrinking and shrinking by the day, gentlemen. The guys got in on that bet at plus 3,500. Evan Bouchard is now plus 375 to win the Norris. And there are certain narratives that I think get spun about Evan Bouchard that are maybe true, but not as true as they are about Cale Makar, who seems to just get away with everything, right? Like, everyone looks at Bouch and goes like, yeah, well, any defenseman would have a lot of points playing on the Edmonton Oilers power play. Any defenseman would get a lot of points if they could play all their time with Connor McDavid. So I did the research.
Okay.
Aaron, put up the Makar and McKinnon part of the graphics. So this is their plus minuses at 5v5. So we're taking empty netters out of the equation, which the Avs' big guns are kind of empty net merchants.
Uh-oh.
So Cale Makar with Nathan McKinnon this year is plus 30. I think this got copy and pasted wrong. Anyways. Oh, no, it's right. Never mind. Okay, so Makar with McKinnon is plus 30 this year. Makar without McKinnon is only plus 5 this year.
Okay.
He is barely a plus player at 5-on-5 in the minutes he does not get to play with Nathan McKinnon. Okay. McKinnon, when he's on the ice without Cale Makar, is still plus 25. So he's like kind of in the same stratosphere, whether he's on the ice with Makar or not. He dominates play. Makar, when he's not out there with the Avs top line, falls off a little bit. And the Avs, funny enough, when they're both off the ice, plus 19. They're still,
team.
Newsflash, they're a really goddamn good hockey team.
True contender.
But you look at this and you go, Cale Makar is obviously at his best when he's out there with McKinnon. The Avs find a way to generally stay above water and actually thrive, I'll say. They find a way to thrive with both of them off the ice. And Nate McKinnon is still a dominating presence even when he's not out there with Cale Makar. The reason why I think Evan Bouchard has a fantastic Norris Trophy case this year is because when you pull up the Oilers' numbers, while a lot of them do drop, Edmonton is nowhere near the team Colorado's been so far this season. But if you look, Bouchard and McDavid are plus 7 when they're on the ice together. Bouchard without McDavid is plus 3. McDavid without Bouchard is minus 3 at 5-on-5 this year. And with both of them off the ice, the Oilers are minus 21. The only permutations of the Edmonton Oilers lineup that are positive at 5-on-5 this year are the ones with Evan Bouchard on the ice. That says something.
Well, no, this says that we have no depth. This is what this says.
But then how come Bouch, when he's there without...
Minus 21.
How come Bouch, when he's out there without Connor McDavid, is still finding ways to be a plus player, but nobody else can? I think that says something. And he also takes the hardest competition, right? He's always going up against the other team's best players, at least on a regularly routine basis. He's always taking tough assignments. He is a legitimate top pairing guy. He does all that tough shit, too. This guy hasn't... I don't think, as the gap has continued to close... Makar's plus 115, Bouchard's plus 375. Listen, if you're asking me who I'm picking when I start a franchise, Cale Makar every single day of the week, twice on Sundays, all that stuff. Right? But this year I'm talking about.
Cale Makar, and people are going to hate me because people think I'm so fucking negative and I don't give a shit.
Uh-oh.
I love you all.
More negativity.
No. Cale Makar, when I say I don't give a shit, we all watched the Olympics. Cale Makar was the second best player in the world at the Olympics. Don't even come at me with stats because I don't care. I watched, and my God, is that guy a factor?
Yep.
Anytime he is on the ice. But his skating, his puck mobility, his everything. He is a game breaker.
Agreed.
Yes.
And that's just my statement. This is not even a knock against Bouch. This is just my total fundamental respect for Cale Makar.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not arguing your stats either.
I know. So what my stat, I agree with you, and this is what I was getting at. I agree with you. You ask any hockey person, any hockey fan, who would you rather have on your team? It's Cale Makar. This season in the NHL, one of them has been the clear better player than the other one. One team's power play is at a generational level once again. The other team's power play is by the bottom of the league.
32nd, which is actually maybe the wildest stat out of all of this.
Yeah. Crazy.
They figure that out. Look out.
And there's one more thing I had pointed out. Even despite that, look at the splits on the percentage of their points that are on the power play versus 5-on-5. And I took empty netters out of this.
So this is sorry, just to clarify, not on the power play.
So
this is just totals.
I've got another terrible take.
These are their total numbers at the top, and then the bottom is the percentage of their points that they get at even strength.
Gotcha.
Excluding empty net points,
So
because again the Avs
59% of Makar's points come at even strength, 56 for Bouchard.
That gap is razor thin, and yet one of them is on the best power play in the league, and the other one's on the worst.
So we have to really unpack this once again using the Olympics. That
has nothing to do with the Norris race.
No. Nothing. I'm talking about the power play now.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think Nathan MacKinnon is the issue on the Colorado Avalanche power play.
Honestly, I knew you were going to say that, and I definitely agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I actually think MacKinnon is the issue. Imagine Makar had McDavid. Their power play would be number 1 or like number 2 to the Oilers. Mm-hmm. It's not a Makar issue. It's a MacKinnon issue.
Well, he can't hit open nets. It's an issue.
But he's selfish. He takes shots. He takes the wrong shot.
Yeah, he does.
He takes the wrong shot a lot.
So just on the power play,
Nathan MacKinnon, fantastic hockey player.
I saw this stat the other day, and I think it was based towards the Anaheim Ducks. And it was something along the lines of like, a team has never won the Stanley Cup if their power play or penalty kill is lower than 17th in the NHL. Not both of them, just one of them. So the fact Colorado is 37, I do think that will haunt them in the playoffs.
They
get so many more power plays.
Can I give you the numbers to back that up?
At the same time, they have Nathan MacKinnon on it, so they got to be able to figure out. Like, I shit talk him in one side of my mouth, but the other side, I'm like, oh, he's pretty good.
But like, you got to think. Just quickly. If the Oilers power play would have clicked in either of the 2 Stanley Cup finals, they have a Stanley Cup in their hands right now. But it didn't, and it went ice cold in both, and they lost. If Colorado is in a similar boat and they get into it with Dallas and Minnesota whenever that comes, that's going to haunt them a little bit. Yeah. We've seen it with so many
maintains, yes.
Yeah.
It's because, you got to score at some decent clip in your power play. You got to. You need to. The game's so tight.
And there's the myth, I think, in the playoffs that penalties don't get called. I just think it's not that more penalties do get called. There's just a lot more infractions that get missed. It's
tighter.
But more penalties get called.
And you're paying more attention. You get more pissed off at a missed call in Game 3 for players.
Everything.
Colorado last year lost in 7 games to the Dallas Stars. Their power play went 13%. Over the last 3 seasons, Colorado's power play has been roughly 9% worse in the Stanley Cup playoffs compared to the Edmonton Oilers.
Nathan MacKinnon. After the Olympics, I'm like, it's Nathan MacKinnon. This is crazy. I can't believe I'm saying it.
Here's another damning one. They lost what was essentially a 1-goal game in Game 7 last year. It was 4-2 with an empty netter. Their power play in that game went 0 for 3. Dallas's went 2 for 4.
Yeah,
that's interesting. They won the game before that, but like if you go through their playoff losses last year, I'd almost guarantee you like it's 0-fers on the power play. 0 for 3 when they lost 6-2 in Game 5. They could have taken control of the series. Game 3 of that series, they lose 2-1. Their power play goes, holy shit. Their power play, they lose 2-1 in overtime. Their power play went 0 for 6.
Hell yeah.
Edmonton Oilers.
This is systemic.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We'll have our power play in the playoffs.
Yeah. I misspoke a little bit. I think as the Stanley Cup playoffs final went on, it got worse, but like Draisaitl scored Game 1 on the power play. To win the game. Tyler said that's going to be a statue pose. Yeah.
When he's Fucking it should have been.
To go back to kind of your initial point, like obviously Bouch is a driving factor for the Oilers and is one of the few players that is keeping us above water.
And yes, and like that's why I said yesterday, and I said it, and I was wincing as I said it because I'm like, I don't want people to think I'm being hot takey. He might be their MVP this year.
Which is funny to see how far he's come.
People who criticize the contract, there's like absolutely, he is a $10.5 million defenseman. And if you want to bring the Olympics into this, when you watched Devon Toews and you watched Parayko and Doughty and Sanheim, they all make the same mistakes that Bouch does. Yeah. You just don't get the gravy with it.
I think one other thing from the Olympics.
I think Bouch should have been on the Olympic team.
Yeah. Oh, especially my take on that is like when you watched.
It would have been nice to see the dynamic at the world stage because we didn't get that.
It's funny when people look and like, again, they dominated the USA in that gold medal game. Not to bring this up again, it's kind of pointless, but like Canada builds their team almost like they aren't the better team. Like they're sitting there and like, we got to take Sanheim and all these guys because we got to protect our goalie. All this, it's like, whoa, the other teams are getting like 19 shots a game. Like, why are you worried about defending?
Yeah.
Right? Like, go get guys who are going to score. Like, you're the best team. You'll control 90% of the game. Like, pick all the skill guys. Anyways.
Just score more.
Yeah, just score more. I think that's what a lot of people were kind of saying. Yeah. But anyways, that's my rant. I think Evan Bouchard is a lock to be a Norris finalist. And I think this year...
He's got to keep up the point production because the thing is, you're right.
He's got to get to 90 plus
He's
points.
not Cale Makar, right? In the sense of that, like the judges are like, well, it's not Cale Makar, so
you have to beat the incumbent.
How do you? Yeah, like so it has to be like handedly.
Yeah. What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Everyday, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.